mean, is there anybody there at the station? You've been pretty good at that, you know, and a lot of times I just can't keep up with the writing. I try to take notes and read what she has done there for me. Sometimes in the past I've done that, and just wanted to see, double check, make sure who's ever there, make sure that's your program there today will be up running on your webpage or KICK, either one there for at least a couple of days, so I can go back and take notes on anything I might have missed.
I understand. Got it.
Okay. Very good. Thank you very much.
Hey,
Appreciate
thanks for calling.
Good work. You bet. God bless. Bye-bye now.
And good afternoon. Whoops. Not false alarm. 417-447-1777. Open line Wednesday. We can ask questions about everything because everything is related to your health. And of course, all seasons, but especially, well, it's getting into winter now. And be sure you keep your vitamins and supplements up to snuff. I was talking to a patient today, and she would say, well, how can I swallow all those? I said, put them in a blender. I mean, I can put 60 vitamins and supplements in a blender with some water and drink it down. You don't have to swallow all the capsules and the pills. It works just as well. I've been doing that for ages. Now, if you want to know where to go here at Springfield, you go to Spring Valley Natural Foods. Right there on Glenstone, just north of Sunshine. What I like about it is service. There's a bigger store. They advertise a lot, but I've been in there twice and I left because I couldn't get service. I had to search for myself. It would take me an hour to try to find anything. In Spring Valley, they come up to help you. And they've got everything you need. And, of course, they carry all of my goodies. Dr. Shealy's Essentials, my Youth Formula, my Progesterone cream, my magnesium lotion and spray, the 5 Bliss oil. But more importantly, they've got whatever you need. It's the place where I shop, and you should too. And of course, it is every day the time to take Nature Blessed Tart Cherry Juice Concentrate. 2 tablespoons, 1 ounce, is equal to almost 4 servings of fruits and vegetables, 3.7 servings of fruits and vegetables. The average American only getting 2.2, and that is not enough. If you're an average American, sloppy in your eating, please add Nature Blessed Tart Cherry Juice Concentrate. It'll bring you almost up to good. And, of course, it tastes good, but it lowers your cholesterol. It lowers your blood pressure. It's anti-inflammatory, and it's good for you. In the grocery department, in the produce department, in the grocery store, if it's a real grocery store. I know there's at least one of those in Springfield. Nature Blessed Tart Cherry Juice Concentrate. And, of course, every day is a day to consider acupuncture if you need really sprucing up. There are all kinds of reasons to consider it, and we'll be right back on that one after this call. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yes, my name's Jack, and I had a question about a low thyroid issue that's recently come up for me.
Okay. Are you in Springfield?
No, I used to live there. I'm up in the Columbia area.
Okay, the water's still fluoridated.
It is, and I have avoided city water for many years.
Blessings. Okay, you're smarter than the average person right there.
Well, I've read your information, and that's helped me become a little more educated. So,
okay, here's what I would do if it was me. 2 possibilities for stimulating your thyroid to come back to normal. It works only about 60% of the time, but it's worth trying.
Yes, sir.
One of these to take a little bit of iodine, not a huge amount. Personally, I kind of prefer Iodoral, Iodoral, 1 tablet a week. So pick out a day and start taking it. Secondly, get my Fire Bliss. This stimulates the points, including your thyroid and your hormonal system in general, but it can jumpstart your thyroid. Now, if it doesn't work within 6 weeks, it's not going to. In other words, and just check your oral temperature. You want your oral temperature preferably to be 98.6 degrees after you've been out of bed several hours.
And it's been running about 1.5 degrees or maybe a little more or less than that.
Well, that is definitely hypothyroid. And so if taking the iodoral and using the Fire Bliss does not bring your temperature up significantly within 6 weeks, then you're going to need a prescription for thyroid. Personally, I rather strongly prefer Armor's thyroid to the synthetic thing.
Very good. Yes. And that's made from swine.
Yeah, it's a pig thyroid, but it's been around for probably almost 100 years. My mother had her thyroid gland taken out because of cysts in it way back in 1995. She lived to be 97 years in 2009. So 54 years or so, she was on Armor's thyroid. And it's this little lady, it took 180 milligrams, but she had a normal thyroid function.
What about diet or other?
In general, the only thing in the diet that I know is going to help is that little bit of iodine.
Okay. And how does alcohol use fall into all this? Obviously, it's a bad habit, but.
Well, I don't consider alcohol a problem unless you drink more than one drink a day.
I do.
Well, then that falls into a bad habit. It affects everything ultimately.
Yes, sir.
I would train myself to wean from that.
Okay.
I mean, I don't mind. I don't mean one drink a day, but I would get down to that.
The products you recommend, are they available on your website?
Yes.
Okay.
The iodoral and the Fire are right there.
There was one product under the thyroid category that was out of stock, and I don't recall the name. I'm sure this year, especially, some things become out of stock from time to time.
I'm sorry, I'm missing that one.
Well, it was one of the products on your website that was recommended to help with
liquid thyroid is another way of, liquid iodine is another way of getting the iodine. I mean, to me, it's more of a mess to try to count out 20 drops than it is to take one pill.
Another thing, my triglycerides have popped up here recently on my recent labs. They're at 239. Is that tied to the thyroid possibly?
Possibly, but more likely to the alcohol.
Okay.
It's a stress thing.
Very good. Well, I certainly appreciate you and all you do. So thank you for your help today.
You are most welcome. Thank you for calling. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Okay, folks. Now, let's get back to talking about the only acupuncturist in the world that I can strongly recommend, Dr. Jill at Wellness Concepts Clinic, right here in Springfield, 1200 East Woodhurst Drive, Suite R300, 877-1300, wellnessconceptsclinic.com. Dr. Jill, the acupuncturist of the century or the millennium. And it's good for all kinds of things. So if you want to try it, try Dr. Jill. And of course, now is your time to give me your questions about anything. 417-447-1777. And let's talk about health in general then. Every day, in every way, I am better and better. That's what Imokue made his reputation with at the beginning of the last century. Supposedly healed 10,000 people, just having them say every day, in every way, I am better and better. That is attitude. Attitude affects everything. So instead of saying every day in every way, I'm getting a bit worse and worse, you say better and better. However, there's certain habits that you need that are essential for optimal health. At the top of the list is smoking. It's still only 22% of people, but it is still a major serious health hazard. And even one pack a day is, well, it only shortens your life about 7 years, but it can make you ill for 20 years. It's not worth it. Wean yourself from it. Now, interestingly, for people who are willing, here's a place where I could, if I had you in the clinic, inject you with some vitamin B12 on either side of your nose and the cheeks and in the ears. It stings a little bit, but just a tenth of a cc of vitamin B12. 60% of people that cures smoking right away. Some people even vomit if they try to smoke after they've done that. I love that one. But the important thing is you must quit. The second is weight. Your body mass index needs to be 18 to 24. Every point above 24 increases your risk of early death and all kinds of illness. By the time you get to a body mass index of only 30, just 6 points above healthy, but that's 40 pounds or more overweight, you have the same risk as someone who smokes 3 packs of cigarettes a day. At the top of my list is stop eating carbs of all kinds, especially potatoes and white rice and sugar. They're junk. Don't go to any fast food restaurant. That's all junk. My favorite story is I went there in 1962. I took one bite. My taste buds said, oh my God. And I spit it out. I threw it away and I've never been back and I will never go back. I'd rather starve to death than go to a fast food restaurant. And in the grocery stores, don't shop the center aisles. Only the outside aisles may have some good food. So the fruits and vegetables, the dairy product, the eggs, the dairy stuff, the meats, that's it. Don't buy bread. Bread is poison. Thanks to Monsanto, the worst, I think it's the most evil publicly traded organization in the world. And we'll continue after this call. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Well, good afternoon, Dr. Shealy. I recognize you. Can you answer a couple of questions about your recent clinical trials?
What's going on?
Well, I'm wondering if you're going to be selling a kit like the one that you're selling now from the past based on the new patches.
Do you understand what he's saying? Say it again. If
I'm wondering if in the future, and if so, when, you will be selling a kit based on your recent clinical trials for telomere regeneration.
Oh, God, guys, you bleep that up. We have the patches available now, and we know that they probably work, but because of the pandemic, the pseudodemic, fakeademic, all that nonsense, because of the stress factor, they didn't work. We're about to do another project. So everybody listening, if you would like to be part of the project, we'll be starting in early January. We're going to try the patches again. And this time, we're also going to give people a bottle of Crystal Bliss. Crystal Bliss lowers your free radicals. It's anti-inflammatory. We want to see if adding a Crystal Bliss to the patches will increase your telomeres.
Well, wasn't Crystal Bliss one of the 3 blisses? I can't think of the proper name for them, that you were using in the protocols?
No, we've never done a protocol. Well, we've done it for if you want to use fire, earth, and crystal. We know that works. But
is that what you used the last time during the 6-month trials?
No, in the 6-month trial, we did the X39 patches that you put. It's just a little about 1-inch patch that you put on acupuncture points.
Yes.
And in the 6-month project, using those patches, the telomeres grew a whopping 8% in 6 months. Ordinarily,
I know that.
But because of the stupidemic, everybody shrank. Nobody really grew practically. So now we're going to see if cutting down the anti-inflammatory processes that happens with Crystal Bliss plus the patches will still let it work better. It is a new project.
So you're going to be doing this new project before you'll be configuring something to sell.
Exactly.
Can I be a part of that?
Indeed,
project?
You can. I haven't told my office staff yet, but I'll tell them in the morning. Call them, 351-5221, and we'll sign you up for early January.
Oh, Well, now, how much will that cost me?
Nothing. It's free.
Well, I'll tell you why I ask. I've been thinking about your most recent 6-month protocols. In our emails, you said, yes, I could simulate that, but unfortunately, that would be prohibitively expensive. If I use 3 patches per day for 30 days, just for the patches alone, that's $300 a month.
Well, it's going to cost you nothing for the first 6 months. And, and we'll know whether it's worth thinking about. But actually, I think in the long run, it'll only be about $60 a month.
How? Okay, can you tell me what that projection is based on?
Well,
what you're assuming?
That's based upon my experience with this company. I've done research with their patches for sleep. I've done it for pain. You know, it's a very good company.
Well, I know you're close to them because you told me an email of a product called X43 in the website, and the people representing the company deny or disavow any knowledge of that. So obviously you're in on something they're developing.
Right.
Can you tell me anything about X43?
We could talk about that if you come in for the project. I don't think I could talk about that in depth on the phone.
Okay. You're not a distributor for them, are you?
I can be but I haven't made that a part of my practice.
Okay. Just as a curiosity, do you mind saying who is funding these clinical trials, these projects?
Yeah, the company's called LifeWave, LIFEWAVE.
Oh, LifeWave is funding your research.
Yeah, well, it's their product that I'm not going to evaluate their project at no charge.
Right. I just thought.
Okay, but look, the 2 blood tests alone cost $1,000.
Yeah. Well, I have no medical insurance other than the VA. How would I get my blood tests done?
Well, you could have it done, but you'd have to pay for it. It would cost you $1,000. Well, $500 each time you get the blood test done. But in the research study, it's paid for by the company, so we could find out whether it works.
Goody gumdrop. Okay. Well, I'd love to. So I call your office tomorrow morning?
Yep.
Okay.
I think January 4th is the first Monday in January.
That's when the project begins?
Exactly.
Boy, I got to sign up right away, don't I?
Yeah, because we're only going to do 20 people.
Oh, wow. Okay. But I can stay here where I live and participate in that?
As long as you can come in for your blood draw, yeah.
Oh, you mean I have to go to Springfield for the blood draw?
Oh, yes. That we can't do at a distance.
Oh, that disqualifies me. I can't afford that.
Well, then you have to wait for the outcome. We'll know by August.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks for calling. And folks, now is your turn. 417-447-1777. Well, excuse me. 417-447-1777. Hiccup. Oh, who knows what's going on? At any rate, now is the time to get back to thinking about optimal health. We talked about the 2 biggest problems. Now, that weight loss. If you want to lose weight, you must stop eating wheat, sugar, regular potatoes, or white rice. They are pure junk. And we can take another call right now. Good afternoon. You're on the air. Now that weight. Hello?
Hi, Norm. It's Helene from Reno, Nevada.
Hi.
Concerning the scalar device, is it okay to lean it? Because can you lean it on the back of something, or is the back part of the how it works? Do you know what I'm saying? It's kind of fragile. Can I lean it on a pillow on the back? Is that okay?
It's okay under the pillow. It's obviously better if you put it on your body. But
to scale it?
You can put it anywhere on the body. It's best if you're using it for depression or anxiety on the head. If you're using for blood pressure, other things, it's best on the front of the chest. But you can sleep with it on your belly or sleep with it under your pillow, and you'll still get the benefits.
Well, I'm asking the scalar device.
I'm sorry? The scalar device? Oh, that's different. You just have it up to 3 feet away from you.
Is it okay if you lean that scalar device on a pillow?
No, I would not do that. No, I would have it on a bed table beside the bed.
And it should be free, the back should be free. Nothing should impede it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thanks for calling. And we'll be right back after this. Oh, good afternoon. Okay.
We're on commercial break, so this is just on the Facebook Live.
Okay, good.
Hello.
Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hi. I was just wondering if you could give any advice. I know a ton of Americans are addicted to sugar, and especially with the holidays, if there's any particular way that you would recommend kind of detoxing from that or having less cravings for sugar.
Detoxing from what?
Sugar. If you have
yes, okay, I can tell you how to do it. Get yourself Gymnema, Gymnema. It's an herb. It comes in a capsule. Open the capsule. Put just a few drops of the brown powder on your tongue.
Okay.
You will not be able to taste sugar for 4 hours. So then take the rest of the pill, and if you'll do that once a day within a week or 10 days, it absolutely can wipe you out your craving for sugar.
Fantastic. So Gymnema. Okay. And just put a couple droplets of the capsule on your tongue, but then swallow the rest of the capsule. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Okay. I'll do it. Thank you so much.
Well, that's one of my favorite questions. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Have
Bye.
a good one.
We're still on our commercial break.
Okay. We can then continue talking about life in general. The single most important thing is to be happy. Now, it's hard to be happy in today's world because it sucks. However, I refuse to allow it to influence me. And so at the top of my list is autogenic training, free of charge. You get it on my website. Just go to realholisticdoc, realholisticdoc.com. Sign up for my free email newsletter and get autogenic focus. If you will practice that twice a day for 3 months, after that, you may need to do a minute a day. You can do it on your own, of course, by that time. And it just allows you to say, okay, who cares? Huh, their problem, not mine. That's the way you detach from today's nonsense. And good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hi. I wanted to ask Dr. Shealy a question.
This is he. I'm here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've got you on the website. So I didn't realize it. So I'm 59. I'm almost 60. And it's really confusing to know how much to take as far as vitamins, the type of vitamins and the quantities. And I just wonder, for somebody who is in good health, what is your recommendation for daily vitamin intake?
Okay. How much do you weigh?
About 140 right now. Hoping to get down soon.
Okay, well, I would start with 50,000 units of vitamin D3 once a week. Now, when your weight gets down below 140, you can go do it just 3 times a month, every 10 days.
Okay.
But that's at the top of the list for everybody. Second, again, because of the pollution with Roundup and everything else in the junk world, I think every adult should take 2 a day of Dr. Shealy's Essentials. That is my favorite multivitamin B complex.
Okay, and I have that.
And number 3 is Youth Formula, 4 a day.
Okay, I have that too. I haven't taken 4 a day though.
Yeah, that is adequate as a maintenance dose for the average adult. I don't think you need any other regular vitamins unless you have some particular problem you're dealing with.
Okay. Okay, great. All right, thank you so much.
Hey, I'm glad you called. Thanks for calling. And
back to Wellness Wednesday with Dr. Norm Shealy and Dr. Shealy-Sorin.
And we're back on the air, and we'll take your call right now. Hello?
Hi, Dr. Shealy. This is Ray Hubbard again.
Thank you.
Regarding the possibility of my being a subject in your next project, I just thought of a couple of stipulations. I'm 78 years old and pretty seriously dehydrated. I noticed that hydration was a part of the X39 information. Would that exclude me?
Dehydration?
Yes.
Well, I don't know what you mean by that.
Well, when I was looking at the information on X39 on LifeWave's website, they said something to the effect, I can't quote it, but it's something to the effect that the person needed to handle hydration, be well hydrated in order to use it.
Well, I don't think it's any more than, I mean, to me, whatever your body weight is in pounds, you divide that by 2 and drink that many ounces of water a day. So if we're 180 pounds, you drink 90 ounces of water a day. Everybody who doesn't do that is dehydrated.
Well, that's me.
Well, then you need to train yourself. It's more important for you to drink adequate water than it is to try the patches.
Okay. That's critical advice.
I can't imagine not drinking adequate water. You don't need to drink any coffee, any tea, any alcohol, but you do need to drink water.
Okay. I'll follow that advice.
Okay. I would set myself a goal of drinking adequate water. Good call.
I will do that. Thank you.
Thanks for calling. Sometimes I am really amazed at thinking, why would you not want to? Why don't you get thirsty? I don't know why, because I've never been not thirsty. Now, I don't drink over that, but I know when to drink. Oh, at any rate, let's get back to the essential habits. The essential habits. We were talking about it already. Top of the list, no smoking. Next, keep your weight with a body mass index 18 to 24. Number 3, increase your veggies and your fruits. The average American is eating about 1/4 of what is optimal. And I'm not even sure that they counted all the junk they ate. But the important thing is, if you're not going to eat 6 to 8 ounce servings of fruits and vegetables a day, get yourself ORAC, ORAC, rich, RICH, greens. 1 scoop is equal to 6 servings of fruits and vegetables. Now you get your ORAC rich greens and your Nature Blessed Tartary juice, and you've got a healthy diet. You could get by then with just drinking water and eating meat and fruits. I mean, now I have to say, personally, I am not a vegan. I consider most vegans to be something of a fetish. We need certain amino acids that you cannot get from any plant food. Interestingly, the single blessed plant food is probably moringa. Moringa, M-O-R-I-N-G-A. But second to that is, well, I'm not sure there's one that's second to that because moringa is so good. However, the Nature Blessed Tart Cherry Juice counts very high on my list. And if you're going to try to get adequate protein without getting it in your garden, get yourself hemp, H-E-M-P, protein powder, dry powder. 1 scoop is equal to 10 servings of fruits and vegetables. Again, it takes care of those people who don't like to chew up their vegetables, but it's adequate. And you need, well, I think you need a minimum of 100 grams of good protein a day. And, most of that can be from plants, but if you don't get some flesh food, whether it's fish, poultry, mutton, doesn't matter, pork, beef, whatever, you're going to be deficient in at least one essential component, and that is called taurine, Taurine. It was called taurine because it was found in a bull. But they didn't realize when they found it that it was also in fish. The highest concentration of taurine is in clams. But all fish have more taurine than any other meat. And taurine is second to magnesium in balancing your entire system, especially the nervous system, but the immune system as well. The brain needs the combination of adequate magnesium. Now, one interesting thing about magnesium, it is a waste of money to take it by mouth, because if there's calcium in the diet, or protein in the diet, or fat in the diet, all of which are part of a normal diet, it blocks the absorption of magnesium. Magnesium has to go in the mouth, and it must stay in the gut for about 12 hours till it gets to the distal colon before it's absorbed. It's the only food that's absorbed in the distal colon. But it's not absorbed at all if you have fat and protein in there and calcium at the same time. Now, the average physician recommends calcium and magnesium together. They're stupid. You can tell them I said so. I don't care what they think. The important thing is magnesium is better on the skin than it is in the mouth. You can absorb it well, and one of the great advantages of magnesium on the skin is it raises your DHEA, the natural anti-stress hormone. Now, there are 4 things that the average person needs to keep their DHEA normal after age 35 or so. One of those is magnesium lotion. 2 teaspoons twice a day will work for most people. If you're really big, you might want to take it 3 teaspoons twice a day. And, of course, then you want to take my youth formula, because that raises DHEA. Each of these raises DHEA an average of 60%. Third, you want to use Fire Bliss. Applied once a day, it raises your DHEA an average of 60%. And, of course, if you are over the age of 40 as a man, you need to consider natural progesterone cream. Natural progesterone cream, people know about because women have been using it for years. But men need, after age 45, need natural progesterone cream. The first study that I did on this was 12 men who had very low DHEA. They used nothing but natural progesterone cream once a day for 3 months, and everybody became horny. And everybody was happy except one wife. So natural progesterone cream, and of course I like EU means true progesterone cream. Get it on my site. So natural progesterone cream, Fire Bliss, Youth Formula. I mean, all of these things are great and safe, and the 4 of them will raise your DHEA an average of 250%. It can give you more energy and help more than any other single extra thing that I know as an average health enhancer. So these are all good tips for optimal health. Now, there's 2 more. One of those is physical exercise. Only 10% of Americans get the minimum, not the optimum, the minimum of physical activity. The minimum of health enhancing exercise is 30 minutes, 5 days a week. Only 10% of people get that much. And some of those are real jocks. They get a lot more. I mean, that's like this me. I get 2 hours, 7 days a week, because it feels good. Now, if you were not a naturally inclined active person, go to YouTube and look up Bounce with Dr. Shealy, Bounce. It consists of moving your arms like this. You can stand in one position, just barely bend your knees to keep you steady. Music conductors live longer than any other profession. Now, I only do 30 minutes a day of that while on a vibe machine. My whole body is vibrating at 30 to 50 cycles a minute, and I'm doing this as vigorously as I can. That's just 30 minutes of my 120 minutes of physical activity 7 days a week. But it's adequate for those who are not jocks. And then finally, sleep. Anyone who sleeps less than 7 hours is danger to the rest of us, not only themselves, but they are the greatest danger on the road. More accidents are created by people who sleep less than 7 hours than from alcohol and drugs. You function at slightly drunk if you are a non-regular sleeper. Personally, you couldn't pay me not to get my 8 hours of sleep. I wouldn't take a job that required, Now, once upon a time when I was an active neurosurgeon, I had to get up in the middle of the night frequently to do things. And I couldn't have lasted as long as I have, I think, if I'd had to continue doing that once or twice a week even. I have to have my sleep, and you should too. So these are the critical things for optimal health. Now, we also have, of course, 68 different biogenics exercises. 68 different ones. And this is the whole foundation for restoring health. If you are seriously depressed or anxious, practicing biogenics 4 to 6 or 8 hours a day can help you get out of it. Now, there are lots of other things you can do, but nothing is as good as that much biogenics. And so look for the biogenics program, or it's a complete, you can buy all 68 of them at a very great discount still. And, once upon a time when I started this, I used to keep people at the hospital 4 weeks. And we did biogenics about 6 hours of all those days. Well, you can do that at home. And if you need help doing it, we have an intensive program called Virtual at Home program, where we can guide you. We can talk to you on the phone or Skype or whatever initially, and then once a day for a week or two, and guide you in which ones to use and any other additions that we need to do. Now, here's an interesting thing. I want to mention this, especially this time of day. Today, I saw a gentleman who's had severe pain since October. He did something, wound up with severe pain in his buttocks and down his leg. Has seen a massage therapist, a chiropractor, a regular physician who got an MRI, said, oh, well, you've got some bulging discs and the space is narrowed. You may need surgery. He walked into my office and I said, I bet you've got a sacral shear. Lie down on your tummy. He lay down on his tummy, and his right sacrum was about an inch higher on the right than on the left. I said, may I fix it? 30 seconds later, his sacrum was normal. I said, roll over on your side and stand up. His pain was gone. Sacral shear is one of the most misdiagnoses in the history of medicine. Somewhere between 15 and 25% of people have a sacral shear. It will never be diagnosed by a chiropractor or a physician unless they've been trained by me, except a real osteopathic physician. The reason I know about it is I had a sacral shear in 1982. I didn't know what it was, never heard of it before. A young osteopath found it and corrected it, and since then, I have treated hundreds of people. Now, you have to do a specific exercise called the cross-knee stretch, which I'll teach you afterwards. Chiropractors don't know about this. Regular physicians don't know about this. And in Springfield, I don't know how many DOs we've got, but only one of them is what I call a real DO. The rest of them gave up their osteopathy manipulative pressures, which is infinitely better overall than even chiropractic. I'm not opposed to chiropractic, but chiropractors don't know about sacral shear. And so if you've got that kind of chronic pain, especially before you go to surgery, This man does not need surgery. His pain's gone. The chances are, if he'll keep doing what I just taught him to do, he'll be over this totally within another few weeks. I won't say how many drugs he was on that weren't doing much good for him anyway, but that's only part of the problem. My favorite statement of all time is, I don't know any, not a single chronic disease for which I would take a conventional treatment. Not one in the world. Now, chronic officially is 6 months. But in my opinion, if you've got a disease that's going on 3 months and whatever's treating it hasn't really helped a lot, it ain't going to. You're wasting your time. Find a true holistic physician. Now, we can still take another question or two. 417-447-1777. That's the answers. Well, we can find the answers at that number, 417-447-1777, right now on Open Line Wednesday. Otherwise, I'll continue talking. Now, I want to report my favorite thing of the year. After 4 years of dawdling with your government, we got the official announcement today that the Shealy-Sorin Gamma Pimp has a patent. I knew it had to be unique enough to get the patent, but getting through the government can sometimes be quite difficult. So finally, they've acknowledged that we have something that is unique. There's no other PEMF device that we know that puts the brain into gamma. Gamma is the state of mind that you want to be in, not when you're out driving, but when you're in nature and totally at peace. It's the state for controlling depression and anxiety. It's a state for treating opioid addiction, severe anxiety, depression, all kinds of chronic illness. I mean, often I can lower somebody's blood pressure from 200 over 100 to normal within 30 minutes by putting the Gamma Pimp on them. So that is my favorite creation of the last 60 years. And I'm very happy to say that we got our patent allowed officially by the government as of today. Now, hey, good afternoon. You're on the air. Hello?
Yes, I just wanted to know, I have the Scalar device, and I wanted to know how far I should have it from my bed.
Oh, up to 10 feet, as long as it's directed, aimed at your body.
Perfect. That's great. Thank you so much.
Hey, that's a great question. Thank you for asking.
Okay. Bye now.
Thanks. And if you have a question, 417-447-1777. Those are the numbers right now to get me, no charge, right here on Open Line Wednesday. The Scalar device, let's talk about that a minute. For those who don't know it, it is focused scalar energy. Now, according to physicists, all empty space, not just in this room, in the universe, is filled with scalar energy, and an empty space the size of a helium molecule. To me, that's the smallest thing I know physically, a helium molecule. In that empty space, there's enough power to boil all the world's oceans. And to me, that shows what I call the power of God. Now, Tesla is the one who demonstrated that you could focus that scalar energy and make electricity at almost no charge. However, Rockefeller and Edison did not want that. They did everything in their power to destroy Tesla's invention. So it still is not giving us what we could get out of it. However, we did an experiment with our little scalar device. So we had people just sit in the room with it, and it was a good sized room, probably 30 by 20 feet in size. And we had a scalar device in each corner of the room. So they just sat there for 9 hours once a week. So 36 hours in 1 month. It lowered a chemical called adrenomedullin. Adrenomedullin actually is not talked about by the average physician. They don't even know what it is. It is the reaction to stress. It is a very low chemical in your blood, between 1 and 10 measurements, if you're healthy. My average patient had over 150. Just doing this for only 1 month lowered their adrenomedullin by over 50%. We then had them come back, and we measured the free radicals in their urine. Free radicals, the things that ultimately kill us. They destroy us, and they are easily measured in your urine with a simple little urine test. So we measured it at the beginning and had them sit there for 3 hours, and then measured their free radicals. They came down a whopping 40% in 1 hour. So this device is available. It is called the adrenomedullin scaler, Sapphire Enhanced. We actually magnify the power of the sapphire by covering the outside of it with sapphire. Sapphire is greater in its ability to amplify such energy than even is quartz. So the adrenomedullin or Sapphire Enhanced adrenomedullin scaler is a great device. I wouldn't be without it. I have one sitting on my desk, and I have one sitting by my bed. So every day I'm getting at least 12 hours or more between those two of having the scaler, because I want my free radicals as low as they can be. Also, for your information, not only have I noticed this, but a number of my friends have noticed the same. I have about half as much gray hair as I had 5 years ago. It does seem to do something to get rid of gray hair, and I don't care about gray hair one way or the other. I wouldn't bother with it for gray hair, but it's a side effect that must have some kind of potential benefit. So those are the kinds of things that are optimal for health. Now, I want to mention one of my original inventions, TENS, Transcutaneous Electrode Stimulation. Invented it really back in the 60s, and it's still a great tool. The most interesting thing, the average physician and physical therapist doesn't know this. You've got to use it for hours a day sometimes. But there are reflex points where you can place the pads, and there's 4 points which can control pain sometimes anywhere in the body. Now, they happen to be bladder 60 and kidney 1 on both ankles. You can look it up on the internet and see where the points are. They've got a TENS device, and you haven't found it useful yet in controlling your pain. Try bladder 60 and kidney 3. And you may need to use it for hours, but it's safe and it's simple and it's so much more effective. Now, you could always use the TENS on either side around the pain, but it's better on the ankles like that for pain all the way up to the neck. The important thing is you can take care of yourself. If you take the good habits that we've talked about, look at some of the advice we talked about, and get yourself my free autogenic focus on our website, you can take control of your health. The most important thing in the world and your number one responsibility is taking care of yourself so that you can do what you came to do, which is helping other people. Now, I want to say, whoever made this pen is just as important as I am, because I get bored out of my gourd trying to do something like that. However, take care of yourself, because nobody else can do it the way you can. And until next Wednesday, y'all have a good one.